maybe won't do all of that meditation that we do in the beginning. So let's just, while we're starting, let's just settle into our meditation posture. I hope Hin got my email. Maybe she has got it too late. Anyway. Check your feet if you are sitting at a desk. Sits bones slightly raised. Lengthen your spine. Hands in the meditation mudra, right hand nestled in the left with the thumbs touching. And you can imagine your spine is a string of pearls of light stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head. And just lengthen. Just imagine all the creaks unraveling. Your head is very slightly tipped forward, eyes are down, looking along the length of the nose, tip of the tongue on the roof of the mouth, and relax the jaw. So just go from the top of the body all the way down through to the feet and just release, 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 and relax. But don't slump. So you want to keep nice and straight. And check your mind. What thoughts are arising? And just allow them to be there. If there's any sounds in your environment, try not to follow them with your mind. So try not to judge yourself. Just allow however it is you're showing up this evening. Just allow it to be there. Just as you are. You can bring to mind the people of your life, your loved ones, your beloveds, your difficult ones, and your strangers. And try and develop a sense of equanimity, particularly for those who you don't like. Doesn't mean you have to take them out for dinner or invite them home, but maybe just dampen down that anger. And remembering that they could change place at any time, the friend, the enemy, and the stranger. I think we'll do this meditation this evening for the benefit of all these people of our life, for ourselves, and by extension, all sentient beings. So just remembering there is no negativity that cannot be purified. And this purification process is basically a psychological one. When we create negativity with our mind, we can also create positivity with our mind instead. So we start with the power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all past lives, and think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general, regret all. And the reason to regret is based on the logic of karma. We experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions. So having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. So given that we already know what we're experiencing in terms of suffering and hardships, we don't want to invite any more. So logically, we want to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as our future suffering. And think like this: I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others, and think, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance. We rely upon, we turn to the Buddha, the doctor, who has the methods we can use to purify. And we're not asking Vajrasattva to forgive us. We're purifying ourselves by relying on his medicine, his methods. So imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. And you can also think that this is perhaps your teacher, your guru, manifesting in this aspect for your benefit. And he's made of radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion, Although born out of mud, this lotus, it is untainted by that mud, just like our enlightened potential, which is born out of our delusions, but untainted by them. His face is radiant and beautiful. His eyes are long, horizontally long, like the shape of lotus petals, and peaceful, and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom. The right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two, which symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings, the very beings we have harmed and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. So think particularly of maybe someone you've harmed recently and in the past, and then maybe in general, all beings we have ever harmed since beginning this time. And so then remember those who have harmed you and have compassion for them, because the harm they've caused you will create great suffering for them in the future. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the benefit of all these sentient beings, and think, I must purify for their sake. And so now we come to the remedy, and this is the actual medicine, taking the medicine, doing the practice of purification. So we start with the body, and imagine Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, very forcefully from his heart, and it arcs around and into your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. It keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you have ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita dida meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasiti mepiyatsa sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabala mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita dida meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasiti mempiyata sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramame mutta vajrabala mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita dida meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasiti mempiyata sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramame mutta vajrabala mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita dida meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasiti mempiyata sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramame mutta vajrabala mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita dida meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasiti mempiyata sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramame mutta vajrabala mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita dida meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasiti mempiyata sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramame mutta vajrabala mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita dida meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasiti mempiyata sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramame mutta vajrabala mahasamaya sattva aham pe. So be delighted that all the harm you have ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think there is no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. So the next is a purification of speech, and Vajrasattva now very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and forcefully enters your crown, filling your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of the crown all the negativity of your speech. And it overflows quite forcefully. So you imagine all the gossip and harsh speech and useless speech and lying and talking about others behind their backs, getting other people to agree with you, maybe misleading people. I mean, that's lying. But just kind of all the things we do with our speech. We don't, as Venerable Rabbeinu always says, we don't necessarily go around beating people up and killing people or, stealing things. But we do a lot of damage to ourselves and others with our speech. So it's good to be mindful of that. So let's purify as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita dida mebawa sutokaya mebawa sapokaya mebawa anarakta mebawa sawasiti mempiyata sawa kamasita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramame mutta vajrabala mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita dida mebawa sutokaya mebawa sapokaya mebawa Anarakta mebawa sawasiti mempiyata sawa kamasita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramame mutta vajrabala mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita dida mebawa sutokaya mebawa sapokaya mebawa Anarakta mebawa sawasiti mempiyata sawa kamasita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramame mutta vajrabala mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita dida mebawa sutokaya mebawa sapokaya mebawa Anarakta mebawa sawasiti mempiyata sawa kamasita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramame mutta vajrabala mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita dida mebawa sutokaya mebawa sapokaya mebawa Anarakta mebawa sawasiti mempiyata sawa kamasita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramame mutta vajrabala mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita dida mebawa sutokaya mebawa sapokaya mebawa Anarakta mebawa sawasiti mempiyata sawa kamasita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramame mutta vajrabala mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita dida mebawa sutokaya mebawa sapokaya mebawa Anarakta mebawa sawasiti mempiyata sawa kamasita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramame mutta vajrabala mahasamaya sattva aham pe Again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified. And imagine it's not possible to do anything other than benefit others now with your speech. And the next is a purification of mind. And Vajrasattva now very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So it's just the same as, when you walk into a pitch black room and you switch on a light, that light instantly dispels the darkness. So just imagine as the light hits your heart chakra, the darkness of the negativity of your mind, so all your attachment and neediness and anger and depression and resentment and jealousy and anxiety and bitterness and grudges and all the stuff that we've got going on in our mind that causes us to harm others is all instantly dispelled, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita dida mebawa sutokaya mebawa sapokaya mebawa Anarakta mebawa sawasiti mempiyata sawa kamasita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramame mutta vajrabala mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita dida mebawa sutokaya mebawa sapokaya mebawa Anarakta me bawa sawa siddhi me piyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida me bawa sutokaya me bawa sipokaya me bawa Anarakta me bawa sawa siddhi me piyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida me bawa sutokaya me bawa sipokaya me bawa Anarakta me bawa sawa siddhi me piyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida me bawa sutokaya me bawa sipokaya me bawa Anarakta me bawa sawa siddhi me piyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida me bawa sutokaya me bawa sipokaya me bawa Anarakta me bawa sawa siddhi me piyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida me bawa sutokaya me bawa sipokaya me bawa Anarakta me bawa sawa siddhi me piyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra aham pe. So again, be delighted that all your delusions, which are all the source of all your own suffering, the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are totally purified, gone. And think now, there is no space in your heart for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. So the next is a purification of even imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. And imagine that Vajrasattva sends light and nectar, it fills you completely. And if you wish, you can just do a couple of mantras while you visualize the body, speech, and mind that we've just done. Or just imagine light and nectar pouring into you, filling you completely and eradicating even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your mind as you recite the mantra. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida me bawa sutokaya me bawa sipokaya me bawa Anarakta me bawa sawa siddhi me piyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida me bawa sutokaya me bawa sipokaya me bawa Anarakta me bawa sawa siddhi me piyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida me bawa sutokaya me bawa sipokaya me bawa Anarakta me bawa sawa siddhi me piyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida me bawa sutokaya me bawa sipokaya me bawa Anarakta me bawa sawa siddhi me piyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida me bawa sutokaya me bawa sipokaya me bawa Anarakta me bawa sawa siddhi me piyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida me bawa sutokaya me bawa sipokaya me bawa Anarakta me bawa sawa siddhi me piyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra aham pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawa Siddhi Mepi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Te. So now feel that you are completely purified, not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to omniscience, to your enlightenment, have been removed. So next is the power of resolve. So here we come again, one of them, well, I don't know if you could say they're all important, but it's pretty crucial to make a decision after doing all this practice and having regret. It would be silly just to leave this last bit off. So we make a decision to try and refrain from doing things that are harmful. And I think what you'll find is that once you make a decision to work on one thing, like maybe speech, one aspect of your speech, you'll become a little bit more mindful in many different areas of your life. This is what I'm finding. And it's just a very, very slow process. You make a decision to not harm with your speech, or to be a little bit more careful with your speech, or to think about how it's going to land before it comes out of your mouth. Then you'll notice that after a while, you taking a step back before you take action. You're not so reactive. So just think like this. Rejoice in your efforts. Rejoice in your progress. And this determination to not do again is what gives us strength to change. And imagine Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wanting to merge with your mind, melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. And think, my guru's body, speech, and mind, and Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same thing. And LAMA YESHE used to call that union oneness. So next, Rinpoche recommends to meditate on the emptiness of the three circles. In emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, place your mind there for a little while. So we can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. You can also think that perhaps the way things are appearing to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created by doing this purification to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I have created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. And for His Holiness Dalai Lama, the wish-granting, wish-fulfilling jewel, source of every single benefit and happiness in this world, to the incomparably kind Tenzin Gyatso I beseech, may all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. And for Lama Zopa Rinpoche, O Tub Shul Chang Jin Jam Gon Gyalaway, Tenzin Kyong Pelaway, Kunzo Dog Porze, Chog Sum Kurwe Legmon to Drub, Pa Dag Sog Dulje, Gondu Jab Ten Shok. And for Lama Ursel, Venerable One, to you whose kindness exceeds that of all the conquerors, for those wanderers in far-off places, especially the West, mindful of your loving concern for us and intentionally descending again into a family of a far distant land, we make this request. O Lama, please, please live long. And for Geshe Shera, beloved teacher, leading your students toward wisdom and compassion, explaining through exacting discernment the steps of the graduated path, you are the unequal guide. Please live a long and stable life. Okay, so the four of us, we did it. Thank you very much for Barbara and Elizabeth for turning up, and thank you, Mary, so much for hosting.